Hey guys, and welcome at long last, and I'm really excited for this one, to Let's Play Xenogears. I have been wanting to do this for a long time, and it kept getting shifted off. Now, the way I see it, I can do this in a few different ways. I can do a traditional Let's Play and just go through and make sure you have all the items and the best gear and blah 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 blah. There's also a way of getting through the game rather effectively, considering the amount of press the button there. Considering the amount of money you're going to need throughout this game, you can get right to the end of the game and still need butt tons of money if you want to max everything out. No, I don't want to go and watch the intro movie. Stop that. Thank you. It likes to do that very often. And finally, there is the plot analysis aspect of this game, which is why it took so long to get this Let's Play prepped up and ready. And it really likes to go to that intro movie. Wow. Anyway, so let's go and actually do that. I want to do basically all three of these. So I'm going to go through a lot of stuff for this. Now, before we get started, I do want to make one little note here. Let's just drag this over here. Now, you may notice here, I'll kind of highlight it here. There is a slight little tweak that you need to do in order to make this run properly. Now, normally, like this is in your properties, you right click on the icon there. I'm going to remove my mouse so you don't see me moving it around. But anyway, at that last highlighted section there, pxfin.exe is the base file name for the emulator that I'm using anyway. And I've had issues with this emulator freezing on some of the anime cutscenes. So, the one way I found that seems to have stopped all of them from freezing up is after that, you hit spacebar dash lowercase r in the target menu that I've highlighted right there. Just make sure it looks like that. And this is, of course, in a shortcut, so you have to make a shortcut I've put on the desktop, and then you change this in the target. What this does is it enables reshuffling, recycling, something that makes it so it doesn't glitch up on me. So, with that being said, if you've done that, it's nowhere near what we had to do with with Legend of Dragoon. But in the same veins of Legend of Dragoon, I would really like to make this one of my better series. Legend of Dragoon still has some of the best views of any of the LPs on my channel, so. Anyway, if anyone is familiar with that, that reference is I am Alpha and Omega, the first and the last, beginning and end. They talked about that in with the Ultimate Weapon in Final Fantasy VI as well. But it has roots all the way back to the Bible, I believe the Book of Revelations, if I remember correctly. I don't know a huge amount about this, but what I have done is I've done a whole bunch of research so that I can make these little allusions, because this game is full of them. This game is also full of a lot of psychology concepts, philosophy concepts, and a whole butt ton of mythology. It is absolutely ridiculous the amount of information that they have crammed into this game. Pretty much everyone who has a name has a reference. And I'm going to be going over a lot of this. Now, the first and the last, I believe, refers to Jesus Christ, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure. At least in the Book of Revelations when they came up with it. I'm going to be a little quiet for this.
Alpha 1 to raise your central. Access confirmed. Initializing fake net. Disconnected. Activating emergency shelter.
Okay, quite enough. Anyway, a lot of this is not going to make a lot of sense right now.
Contamination is spreading widely. Captain.
Cut off the cables manually.
Roger.
The idea here is they're being attacked by something in this spaceship.
No good, nothing happened. Omega 1, they are attacking. We can't stop them. 98% of our weapons have been taken over.
Oh, that looks kind of like
Autopilot system
a spaceship
has been
or a
accessed.
flying saucer kind of thing.
And its space logic is being rewritten. Ergo area is increasing. An internal plane is forming. Switching to space displacement mode.
Alpha 1, confirming transfer of coordinate codes. Coordinates input, coordinate NX128, EZ061, the main planet.
Damn. So they're planning on attacking.
Some of
Engine
the
room.
cutscenes, probably
Activate
most
the
of them,
emergency sealing system.
don't seem
Engine
to
room.
work very well.
Engine
The audio is always desynced. But what can you do, eh? They put this on a PlayStation title. What do you expect, really? Now, if you look there, it says, "Ye shall be as gods, or ye shall live as gods," I believe.
See that all civilians and passengers are safely transported to
That
the escape shuttles.
can
I will send a
reference
dispatch after
something
evacuation is complete.
in the
I am
unofficial next
evacuating the
game,
ship. All of
which
you,
is coming.
evacuate
Oh, yes, it
now.
is. That should be very shortly after the end of this LP. I will be doing Xenosaga Episode 1. I have not yet done any research for Xenosaga Episode 2, but I will be doing that one, presumably, as well. From what I've seen, Xenosaga Episode 1, 2, and 3 are all playable on the PCSX2. Yeah, ye shall be as gods. That references something that we see in Xenosaga Episode 1, I believe. It might be in some of the later ones too. Like I said, it's been a long time since I've played those. Now, here we have the captain of the ship. He's going to look at his little locket here. Not that it really matters, but some people have interpreted certain things out of the people in that locket. We'll have a lot of time to go over things throughout this Let's Play. Now, I know I tend to do it a lot in other games where I have a thought and I want to go off on a tangent and I just kind of stop the dialogue and then talk for like a minute. Unfortunately, if you don't like that, you're probably not going to like certain parts of this LP because I will have to do that a lot. I want to go over a lot of the mythology in this game. I want to go over the psychological concepts, the philosophical concepts. I want to explain, to my limited understanding, of course, all of the different references that this game has. Now, he initiated the self-destruct and the ship, well, I guess kind of crash landed. Somehow, we have a naked purple-haired lady. I don't know how this works. Well, I do, but I'm going to feign ignorance because I don't want to spoil things in this game, and to explain anything ahead of time will do nothing but spoil things. Now just listen to the music. There are some great composers, and there are some games that are just, way above everything else when it comes to, its soundtrack. I've said it before, and I still believe it to this day, Chrono Cross has the best video game soundtrack of all time. And I think I said it in my little introduction a year ago whenever I did it. I think this game is up there in the top 5 easily. And again, composed by Yasunori Mitsuda. Anyway, let's take a look at our background story here. The continent of Ignis. Ignis, of course, meaning fire. It's just the main continent, the largest continent of the world in this case. We also learn about a war that has been raging for centuries, hundreds of years, whatever, between Kislev and Ave. Now, Kislev and Ave are both references to the Jewish calendar, if I'm not mistaken. They both refer to different months of the Jewish calendar. Now, I don't know any of these other languages. There's lots of German in this game. There's lots of, I think there's some Latin in this game. A whole bunch of other different languages. I don't know any of these languages. I'm horrible when it comes to pronunciations. My pronunciations are going to suck. My understanding of it is probably going to be limited because basically, I've been reading up on this stuff, but I don't know if the information I've been reading has been 100% or not. Anyway, the idea is we have Kislev in I think the northern part of the continent, and Ave in the south in the desert. And we have no idea why they're at war, but they're still at war and have been for hundreds of years. Now, the ethos. The ethos refers to a religious organization who also has their hands in a lot of other things, and they don't really explain this for quite some time, so I'm just going to kind of give you an idea of what it is to try and ease some of the confusion, because this game can be quite confusing, especially when you're trying to understand concepts when they haven't been fully explained at that point. I'm going to try and not break any spoilers out, but still explain what they're referring to the best that I can without it becoming a spoiler. Anyway, so the idea is the Ethos have this institution, and they were able to repair tools and help with the excavation of old ancient civilization technologies or weapons. And from these ruins, they've repaired them, and yes, they've increased the military power of not only themselves, but these other countries that have been at war. And they were no longer determined by man-to-man combat, but by gears, which are basically giant mechs. Why they decided to use the term gear, I don't know. But yeah, they're basically Gundams or, you know, Megazords or whatever the hell you want to call them. Doesn't matter. And over time, Kislev gained the upper hand, and they had additional power. They found more wealth buried beneath their ruins, and eventually they gained the upper hand. But we also had this mysterious military force called Gebler to side with Ave, which tends to balance things out. At least they will tell you that in a moment here. Yeah, recover from hopelessly being outnumbered, and back on even field with Kislev. Then, taking further advantage of their new momentum, they started to capture one territory after the other, even though on the world map we don't see any of these extra territories. We see like 3 cities on either side, maybe, but whatever. So, what do we have here? And our story begins in the remote village of Lahan, whatever, the outskirts of Ave on the border with Kislev. Looks like a nice peaceful town, nice and relaxed and calm, and oh no. This is where it all begins. Now, I wanted to dig out a clip, but I couldn't find the one I wanted. I was on YouTube for, like an hour trying to find this clip, and I could not find it. I wanted to get a nice picture of Sephiroth in the background with the flaming Nibelheim village, and just the choir singing Sephiroth, and I couldn't find it in the right setup, and I really wanted to get to recording this episode because I knew I wasn't going to have a whole lot of time. I managed to get a day or half a day off from one of my jobs, and I still have, probably a 60-hour week this week, even with that half a day off. So, that transition there to Glass Shattering initiates battle. And that's one of the interesting things they do with the cutscenes in this game. If they want to execute battle commands or attacks during a cutscene, they just basically start a battle and do it automatically so you don't have to do it, which is unique. I don't remember very many games doing that, but it's an interesting concept. A big metal robot thingy. Who do we have here? Ooh, we have Satan, or Satan. I would assume his name is supposed to be Japanese, so I guess... I think in the original translation he was Shitan, S-H-I-T-A-N, but that sounds ridiculous from the Western tongue, so I'm going to call him Satan. His last name is Uzuki, but yeah, we'll learn more about the good green shirted man later. Why did what come to this? Why aren't we getting any background? Well, if you're asking for background, that's supposed to be fire, by the way, in the background there. If you want some background, what the hell is that? We gonna get some background anytime soon. Oh! Apparently our friend here is a painter. Okay then. Now, our hero is Faye. Now, we don't learn his full name for a bit, and I'll go over the references his name has when we eventually learn his full name. But just know that there is some additional references there. Now, to start things off, we can rotate the camera using L1 and R1. they tried to fully realize a 3D world on a PS1 title at the same point where games like Final Fantasy VII and 8, I think this came out kind of in and around that time. They were just working with painted backgrounds. They tried to do the full 3D thing here. It didn't really work. That's one of the big downsides to this game is the graphics and the interface because there's no map. You can take a look at all of his pictures here. Nothing too interesting about any of them. You hold the circle button to run. Now, you would think that the triangle button would be menu, but no, it is the jumping button. So if I ever jump when I say I'm going into the menu, that is why. Now, here we are, level 1. We have this basic stuff. There's nothing else we can equip on here. We have basic gear. Our main hero does not use a sword. He uses his bare fist, which is rare. And we can learn things called death blows. I'll be going over lots of the battle aspects of this game later. We also have abilities, which are like our magic spells. And there's our equipment menu through there. We have some items. We have none. Abilities. We can access them through there too. I don't know why there's so many ways of doing that. File, of course, goes to the file menu. And we can save from there. Now, let's start getting some items. If you approach the bed, you take out your hidden money, receiving 200G. And you have a free point to rest here. Remember that for later. We will be doing that. Now, you'll start to notice that there are items hidden around the world. You can see kind of above me there. We get a spider web. Now, some of them are visible, some of them are not. As we will see right here, we get an aquasol. Now, an aquasol is like a potion. So, basic potion, 50 restores 50 HP. Your max HP in this game is 999, I believe. Anyway, let's talk to our maid. Apparently we have a maid. And this maid is the plot dumping maid. Well, not really plot dumping, but exposition. 3 years since we came to the village. Oh. Huh. Strange masked man. Could he have been my father? Who knows? Actually, I'm not entirely sure, really, because we're going to take a look at that scene right now, and I don't really see who that is. Now, if it's the person I think it is, who I've always thought it is, then it makes sense. It just, the sprite looks a little bit different, and we never get to see that person speak, at least in this cutscene. We may later, I can't recall 100%, but anyway, we saw Chief Lee there, who is the chief here in the village of Leyhan. He kind of adopted young Faye there when he was brought there 3 years ago, and I think Faye is supposed to be 18, 19, I don't know. He's the standard RPG character age from 16 to like, what, 25 or something like that. He's in that range anyway. I always assume characters are older than they are. We already went in there. So let's pop ourselves up here. And let's go talk to some other people around here. Looks like we have another maid here. Aw, well that's nice. Well, that's nice of him. Nope. Oh, why would you say something like that at the start of an RPG where things are obviously going to happen? Oh well, whatever. Let's talk to our friend here, Timothy. I don't think there's actually any reference in that. There probably is. I just didn't find one in my research. So there's Timothy anyway. No real reference behind his name that I could decipher. If I looked up the etymology of the name, I could probably find something, but nothing particular interesting that came up on some of these sites. Wedding with Alice. Now, Alice, there was something to that one. Now, we have Alice, or in the original Japanese, Aruru, I believe was her name. And either Alice or Aruru is very close to the name of a Babylonian goddess of creation. So you could also see it as, of course, Alice in Wonderland or any other famous Alice. But there you go. Little minor notes there. bow. And we get nice spinning camera view here. That's a pretty cool mask icon above the stairs there. Look at a boar or devil or something. So our main character has amnesia and only remembers the last 3 years of his life. Oh boy. Now, normally I would throw something at this game already, and don't worry, I will be doing that, for such a lazy, repeated idea. We've seen that thousands and thousands of times. But this game, it actually gets explained. I know it's unbelievable, but amnesia gets explained and it serves a plot point. So we're just gonna leave it as it is, and we'll get to it a long time from now because they take forever to explain it. Oh well. Anyway, it's a lot of fun, so let's just talk to some people here real quick. I know I'm probably closing in on my usual length of video, but I will probably go a little bit of extra time today. I forgot to set my timer at the start, so. Okay, well that's cool. At least we've made some nice friends since we've been here. Okay. Does she need my company? Well, shouldn't she have, girlfriends to do this stuff with? Isn't it the guy's not supposed to see, or any guy I don't think is supposed to see the wedding dress, at least in Western culture, or the bride to be on the day of the wedding in her wedding dress before the wedding actually happens, right? I think. I don't know. Whatever. Just a thought. Anyway, let's talk to some of these other people. This is Timothy's father here. Now, the NPCs in this game, some of them are really interesting in setting a worldview, and some of them get really boring. So at a certain point, we'll start talking to less and less of them. But at this point in time, we really do want to set up this world that we live in to make things make a lot more sense over time. So let's talk to Chief Lee here. Okay. Why not? Every day I would... Oh, this is not going to end well. Old man stories. Sounds like pervy stories. Or pervy sage. Anyway, let's move forward. No more Naruto references. Okay, this is Alice's uncle. Apparently, we're missing the father in this situation, and that actually gets explained when we talk to somebody else, so... Anyway, with that being said, let's head out the door here. And we run into a little kid who looks pissed off. Yeah, pretty much. Now, this is Dan. Now, Dan has a dual... the name is used in two different ways. It's used for something that we have no idea what it is at this point in the game, and also this character's name. But it is also one of the 12 tribes of Israel, according to my research. Now, if my research is wrong on anything, I apologize. It's just what I've been able to read on different websites and articles and stuff like that. So, if anything's wrong, feel free to correct me in comments. I will try and address those issues as time goes by, but we'll see. Oh, how rude, little man. Ah, so Dan is Alice's little brother. And apparently he does not like Timothy very much. So he wants to talk to me. Sounds serious. I have a feeling you're talking about Timothy. Mainly because I know what you want to ask me, because I've played this game. Twice. Twice fully through, and then I've done like the opening, I think 3 or 4 times. Anyway. let's see what we've got here. I did one last night before I started recording this. So hopefully, like I'm recording, well, I guess it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon now, but I did some testing last night, so I have a better idea of where everything is, so I hopefully don't end up in too much of a bad situation and forgetting all the things and like where items are and all that other jazz. Yeah, I have a feeling. I don't think I'd want to be related to that kid. He seems grumpy. But I think that's going to do it for this one. I said I'd go a little over, and I'm probably, what, 25, 26 minutes, somewhere like that now? Either way, that's pretty much all I got time for today. So next time, we're going to explore the village of Lahan, whatever. And with that being said, I'll see you guys next time.